Welcome to this edition of Morgan You Asked For podcast. Wednesday night here, a little after 8 o'clock. The Cyclones just won another game in the CyHawk series. I think they ended up winning by 5 at the end. It was 3, and it was 4. Iowa State couldn't make the free throws to end it, to make it more interesting than it should have been. Up 17 with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Iowa goes like on a 14-15 nothing run to make it a game, but Cyclones do prevail. Adi Crooks with 30 points. Just two good teams. I mean, they're both going to be, top 4 seeds, I assume, and have a home date in the first couple rounds of the NCAA tournament. Is my projection as of first part of December here. Tonight we have Zach Tremmel with us. Trev's out this week with work. So, again, thanks, Zach. He's a regular contributor here, and we thank Zach for joining us. You watched the game tonight. What'd you think?
Yeah, like you said, I think it's two very, very good teams. I think both of these teams could easily make the Sweet 16 and beyond. And, I think if they play 10 times, it's going to be about a 5-5 deal. Audie's probably the best player on the floor, and they had a hard time with her. I didn't see the first half because we had basketball, but, the third quarter, Iowa kind of laid an egg. And like you said, Iowa State just couldn't put it away at the line, and Iowa made some plays. But, that's the beauty of basketball, though. This loss doesn't hurt you. You gain valuable experience, and, they could meet again in the tournament in the Sweet 16, Elite 8. You never know.
Yeah, and they do that more. There was a few years ago where it looked like Iowa State were headed right to the Sweet 16. They both were the top seeds, and Creighton goes through and beats them both. So neither one of them got as far as they thought they were going to get. So you never know. But yeah, those are two good teams. I mean, I'm not going to say they're great teams. They're not top 5 teams, but they're right around probably top 10 teams that they are. They're ranked number 10 and 11 this week. Stolke's. I love watching Stolke play. I know she's a Hawkeye, but she's just so athletic, and that's what it is. Especially when Hayden got in foul trouble, it was Stolke versus Audie, and it's just strength and size versus speed and quickness. I mean, it's just completely different. And they were talking about how Audie won shot put and disc. Well, if you look at the high school record, so did Hannah Stolke. So there's two different ways of doing things. And she's just so athletic that, she could just go right around Audie and others, not just Audie, and make some great shots. And a couple shots didn't fall, and a couple fouls went against her, and she fouled out at the end there as well. But great basketball game. We're going to see another good one tomorrow night. I know Iowa State's going to be favored by quite a few, but I think that game's going to be closer than people think, because let me know if you think I'm wrong in this, but I do think Benetzer is going to walk up the court, take all 30 seconds off the shot clock, shoot it with about 5 seconds left, or pass it, and because if they don't want to run and gun with Iowa State will score 100 on them, but they're going to limit possessions. They're going to frustrate Iowa State, make them run sets, and if Iowa State can continue to shoot as well as they have, Iowa State won't have a problem, but they're not going to keep shooting 58% from three-point line like they have the last. In fact, I'm not 100% sure that's not what they're shooting about on the year is 58%, and that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, obviously coming off the win at Purdue versus the number 1 team, they're playing with all the confidence in the world. With Iowa, I think it's going to be all, like you said, Bennett Sturts. If he plays like the best player on the floor, I think Iowa's got a shot to hang around. Michigan State kind of flustered him a little bit, and I think that'll help going into Hilton. But yeah, it's going to be up to Sturts. He's a master at handling the shot clock. He doesn't freak out when there's 5 seconds left. Somehow he always finds an open man or an open shot, and then they're going to have to hit some shots. But like you said, Iowa State's just shooting lights out. They're not going to continue that all year, but they are playing well right now, and I feel like Iowa State always plays well early in the year, and that's going to be the thing with them this year. Can they keep that momentum, avoid the injuries, and they're in line for a 1 or 2 seed if they keep things going at this rate. And Iowa, I think, is a tournament team. They're not quite to the Iowa State ability, but they're going to be 7-10 somewhere in there as long as things don't go south. But I hope tomorrow's a good game. But like you said, I think it's all going to come down to Sturts, and he can control the game and be the best player on the floor. I think Iowa can keep it close into the fourth, and that's about all you can ask for as an Iowa fan, to have a shot with 4 minutes to go within a possession or two.
Yeah, with Ben Sturts, just watching him play, I watched a lot of Drake last year, and obviously he's continuing that with Iowa. And you're a basketball guy. He plays at his pace. He makes the game at his pace. He doesn't get sped up. And that's one thing that, Tyler's not a great basketball player, but that's what I preach him is make the right basketball play. And that's what Bennett Sturts does better than anybody I've seen in a long, long time in college basketball. He's always under control. He takes a shot when it's called for the shot. He makes a pass. He just makes winning basketball plays. And I don't know, obviously we don't know complete background. He's from Liberty, Missouri, I believe. Whole family went to Kansas State and must have been smaller or grew after high school or just something clicked. But to not believe that he wasn't even an all-conference player at the D2 level his freshman year is unbelievable.
Yeah, and he, like you said, he's a great player. I think you're going to see more of this, though, as college goes on. There's some darn good players in the D2 world that, they never really got the shot, but now the way things are going, it's just kind of a breeding grounds for the D1 schools, and they're going to, they're not going to stick around in the D2 when all of a sudden a Missouri Valley school comes calling, and if they can go do it there, then it's you bounce up another level to the Power 5 schools, and I think it's just instead of going to high school, you're going to low D1s into the D2, and that's just kind of the world we're in now. And like it or not, you're going to have to adapt if you want to be able to compete at a high level this day and age.
Yeah, it's just I like to seen him in high school. Was he only 6'1" instead of 6'4"? Just things like that, because some kids do. That's just what happens, or just something clicked, or McCollum got it out of him, whatever. But he's going to make money next year playing basketball, and I love watching him play. He just, that's just what it is. All right, now we're going to transition to the real topic of the week. I kind of went Sunday night. I did the podcast. Thank you for listening to that. Those of you that did, that are listening again tonight. Zach, I believe you listened to it. It was just, you just kind of had to let it out. And I think Cyclone fans in general this weekend, you had all the stages of grief and everything that was going on, the acceptance, denial. And the one thing we didn't get all those because the new coach was hired so fast. And I think that is some of the visceral attention to Jamie Pollard is it was so fast. Now, was it overall, now that we're 4 days past it, it looks like it's going well. Some reports that I've seen and got emailed to me and seen in Twitter and everything that Matt Campbell and Taylor Mauser and John Haycock and Eli Rashid are working with Jimmy Rogers and his coaching staff and essentially telling them, hey, we're taking these players. These are the players you want to keep because this is the best spot for them, but we're not taking them. And then, just kind of giving them all the background on these players because these new coaches coming in don't know these players, and I hopefully, Matt Campbell preaches loyalty, and I went on my rant about that, and he sent that letter today to the Register. It was fine, but a PR team wrote that. I watched Eric Morris's letter back to North Texas today. I think they might have the same people writing those. It's the same thing. I watched Eric Morris's press conference. I watched Jimmy Rogers' press conference. I watched Matt Campbell's press conference. They're all the same. I mean, little hit and miss more, specific to their school, but they're all the same thing. It's just a dog and pony show. But I do think Matt Campbell is trying to do what's best for Iowa State, even though he did leave us. And that can't be overstated or understated. He did. He didn't want to be at Iowa State anymore. He left. We're going to talk about this later. He might be yelling at himself. He jumped 1 week too early, but we're going to talk about that later. As a Hawkeye fan, Zach, knowing you have Cyclone friends, you have you live in Iowa, you lived in Iowa your entire life. What do you see? What did you see from Cyclone Nation? Was the reactions correct? Obviously, none of us blame Matt Campbell. It is what it is. Penn State is a better job than Iowa State. That's not the argument. And then what do you see the Iowa State athletic department and specifically the football program going forward becoming, because losing Matt Campbell, I believe, is a big deal on the whole athletic department because football is everything in every athletic department.
Yeah, as an Iowa fan, just looking at Iowa State fans react social media. I mean, to me, it obviously hurts. It looks to me like he is probably the most influential coach in Iowa State history. The way fans are reacting and crying. I mean, there's fans crying, and he meant the world to Iowa State. And to me, I think you guys, for the first time in forever, felt like you could play with anybody in the country in football. And I think when he left I think everybody is like, oh crap, here we go. We're going back to, the Paul Rhodes era or anything like that. And, it's going to be tough this day and age. Obviously, Matt Campbell is a heck of a coach. I do agree with Jamie Pollard. He doesn't owe Iowa State anything. He put you guys on the map. He came into Iowa City and actually won a game. He played, you guys could play with anybody. And my honest assessment is I think you're going to take a major step back here in the next year or two. I don't know how it's going to be long term, but I just can't see. I mean, I think you'll lose your quarterback, which, he was the heart and soul of the team, but I think you'll take a major step back. And I think it went from, it was getting really close with Iowa and Iowa State as a program, and I think Iowa's going to jump, way ahead right now. I could be wrong. I mean, this is just how I see it. But you can't blame Campbell. I mean, he's going to a program where, he's going to play in front of 106,000 people. They've got all the money in the world. He's got no excuses now. I mean, he can truly win a national championship, and if he coaches like he did at Iowa State and can run a program like that, he's going to have opportunities. Because you don't even have to. You basically have to finish in the top 3 or 4 in his conference right now to make the playoffs. And it's just different. As an Iowa fan, I've had Hayden Fry and Kirk Ferentz forever. It's just, I mean, you preach loyalty. They are the most loyal you're ever going to get.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, Ferentz isn't going anywhere. He's going to retire. That's how it's going to end for him. But that's very rare as well. I mean, most coaches are either jumping for a better job or they're getting fired. That's what's going to happen. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I don't see Campbell going anywhere else unless it's to the NFL. I don't think there's another job he would take. I don't see him now hopping over to Ohio State or Michigan after being at Penn State, but I think he'll do well there. I don't know much about it. I heard podcasts saying I don't think most Iowa fans even knew who Jimmy Rogers was. I never heard the name.
I never heard the name. Nope.
But yeah, they all have to preach the loyalty thing. But like you said on Sunday night, they're all in it for themselves. I mean, I don't care if it's so you can't blame the players when they do it because the coaches are doing the exact same thing. If they can get a better program, which we'd all agree Penn State's better than Iowa State, you got a better shot to win there. They're going to go, and you want to double their contract, triple their NIL money. You can't blame them. So loyalty it's something you want to preach because that's what the coaches said when they grew up. But it's all about what can I do for myself, and it's going to be a year-by-year basis. I mean, if Iowa State gives me $2 million and I have the best year ever and I love it, well, all of a sudden Florida just offered me $5 million. They're probably going to go, and that's just the way it's going to work this day and age.
Yeah, it's so. Let's. I want you're a Big Ten guy. You follow the Big Ten, and I do too. But you're a Big Ten guy. Will he play for a national championship in the next 5 years? In your opinion, will he have, now he has the resources, does his coaching style transition to winning national championships?
Winning, he's going to be right there. I think they'll be in the playoffs next year. I mean,
I do too. Their schedule, their schedules. All the big games are at home. I think their hardest game is at Washington.
I think they might play Michigan, but that game just got a whole lot of interesting, which we're going to talk about later. But I think, like you said, I think they'll be in the playoffs next year. I mean,
Yeah, they're going to win 10 games.
They got to go 10-2, and they're probably in.
Yeah, I think 10-2 at Penn State, you're in every time. I would have said the same thing to Notre Dame, but that didn't work out this year. I saw an AI prediction or whatever. You know how you see those on the whatever over the next 8 years or 10 years at Penn State. The lowest number of wins he has, I think, was 9. He never won a championship. He got to the semis twice and lost in the championship game, and then he leaves to go to the NFL. That was the prediction.
I think he's gonna put it. He'll have good enough teams that can win it, and I think you'll see him in the semis. 2 or 3 times in the next 7 years, and then that's kind of a crapshoot at that point.
Absolutely.
I mean, you never know who's injured. Ohio State just got beat by Indiana, so I mean, I feel like Penn State. Next year, like I said, they can compete. So they can play with anybody. The SEC is going to beat up on each other, but they're going to have 4 or 5 teams that are dominant. The Big 12 is going to have a solid team. You would think the ACC could get something going here. Notre Dame should be good, but they're going to be able to play with anybody in the country, and I think they are, they're going to be a favorite to make the playoffs every year. I mean, they would be better than 50% to be in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, and that's why he left. You can say the money, you can say the resources. It's that stat right there. You got to get in the tournament. Once you're in the tournament, then I really do think it comes down to your culture, your players, but you got to get there. And at Penn State, he can get there with having a bad game. You can lose a game. At Iowa State, you really couldn't lose a game that you shouldn't have. Now,
He's probably looked at BYU. They lost to the number 4 team in the country twice, and that's not good enough. That's just the way. That's where the money's at. And it's unfortunately the Big 12. You're going to have to basically have 2 undefeated teams, I think, in the championship to get 2 in right now, and unless they expand, and then it might go a little different. But right now, you got to be pretty flawless to get through the Big 12 and make it as an at-large if you don't win it.
Yeah, I mean, then they were 1 game away last year. I mean, that's what people do forget. 1 year ago today, they were getting ready to go to Orlando, but they were 3 days removed from you win 1 game and you win. Now, they were outclassed and Scattaboo ran all over them. I mean, but now, and here's my next question for you. Is Rocco Becht, Penn State's quarterback, next August 28th or whatever their first game is?
That's a great question. I mean, what's that quarterback that's there right now?
Grunkenmeyer or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about him. Obviously, he wasn't supposed to play this year. I mean, Drew Aller was playing and obviously got hurt.
Yep.
So I think that gives him a little bit leg up, but the offensive staff is coming with him now. And here's I'm gonna give you 4 things right now that make you think about this. So now I 100% understand they're still in school and they got 2 weeks left of school. They're going to finish out. I mean, but Ben Bramer and Rocco Becht both out on social media were at the game tonight. So those 2 things. And then some interesting things here. The reports of John Haycock going to Penn State is vastly over, I'm not saying he's not going there, but I don't know if he's going there to be defense coordinator. He is still in Ames. Bill Finley and Iowa State women's basketball actually sent a picture. He went and talked to the women's team yesterday. And from what I've been told is him and Eli Rashid are the ones that held the meeting on Sunday, and they are still in town working for Iowa State, trying to help with the transition. I don't think they're going to get their defensive guys, and I don't think they're going to get kept on just because Jimmy Rogers is a defensive guy, and he's bringing in his own defensive guys. Iowa State did hire Tyler Rule, or however you say his name, back from Detroit. He was with Iowa State last year, North Dakota State guy. Funny thing is, so Jimmy Rogers, they have a picture of Jimmy Rogers and Tyler Rule, their new offensive coordinator, in college, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. and Roll tackled him or whatever, I think, or Rogers tackled Roll or whatever it was. It's kind of interesting how essentially Iowa State is hiring all these FCS, South Dakota State, North Dakota State guys. That's really what we are. That's what we're hiring.
I mean, I think the bigger question is will Rocco be at Iowa State next year? I mean,
I'd 95% he's going to go.
I think they're going to have to pay him a lot because I think I don't know what the market is, but I could see him being a $2-3 million guy next year and at a lot of places just for his ability. And I don't know if that's Penn State or an SEC school that's in need, and
West Virginia, where his dad played.
And now, can Iowa State pay that? They can, but then that takes a lot of money from everybody else. And if you do land him, it might bring some guys back if that's what they're wanting to do, or if they're, they want to just hit the restart button and go from scratch. And
now here's another thing. Money isn't the biggest issue for Rocco, just because his dad played in the NFL and his dad coaches in that. So his family does see the big picture, and he's in a different situation than some people.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
if he comes back to Iowa State, he's going to set a whole bunch of records, and he will be one of, if not the greatest quarterback in Iowa State history. If he leaves, he will just be a guy. Does that factor into any of this? I think him and his family understand that. Now, that doesn't mean he's coming back. But do you think that has any factor because of his family understanding that compared to some people?
Yeah, there's definitely some advantages that he could come back as opposed to other quarterbacks that don't have, the financial means, or where they've been a starter for so long where they can set records and, go down as one of the best ever. I mean, if I'm Jimmy Rogers, that's my main I'm going after him as hard as I can until I know he's not coming. But
right.
I don't know. That's going to be, if he sticks around, I mean, you'll still be a very competitive team next year. You're going to lose some, but you can replace a lot. But if you got a quarterback with that amount of experience and he comes back, that'll definitely take the confidence level of Iowa State fans up. But if I had to pick, I would say he's gone, and obviously Penn State would be the favorite, but it'll be an interesting few months here.
Yeah, I think, if I had to make my prediction, Rocco, Ben Bramer, and one, if not both, the running backs all go to Penn State.
Unless Matt Campbell tells him, hey, we're going to roll with this guy that's at Penn State now, he wants to come back, and say, hey, then he may stay at Iowa State. I don't know. It'll definitely, and I don't know if players will wait on Rocco first to see what he's going to do.
There has been, there's been a few people. There is none of the big names have transferred yet. I did hear today or tonight somebody said there's something about 5 days. Maybe it was Bloom on one of his things. Said 5 days after your coach leaves is when your 30 days opens up, which then just goes right into the regular transfer portal this year. Because technically the transfer portal does not open until January 2nd. So you can say you're in the transfer portal, but officially you're not. A year ago at this time, you were in the transfer portal. It was going on right now.
Who went in so far? Didn't the Des Moines kid?
Yeah, the Valley kid went in, which I can understand. He's got all 4 years left to play. And we're going to find out who Campbell really wants. We're going to find out coaches, and we're going to find out players, who he likes and who he thinks can play. You may like the kid, but you have to admit there's a different type of kid that can play at Penn State compared to Iowa State. Yeah, now I think Ben Bramer, I think Rocco, and I think the running backs can. Now I don't think the running backs are going to be like maybe the guy there, but they would definitely help just because they know the system and then I think a lineman or two, a couple of the younger ones, and then defensively, I think there's a couple of the linebackers could go, and then Marcus Neal is a stud safety. I think he's a shoe-in to go to Penn State, my personal opinion. But I do think with Jimmy Rogers being a defensive guy, the defensive guys may have a better chance to stay just because he is a defensive guru. I mean, that's where he's cut his chops.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting, few months here. I wonder if he'll bring his strength and conditioning coordinator with him that has everybody injured all the time, or if we'll have a new one at Penn State.
I did see that Reed KG, which is that guy, has been hired at Penn State. So actually, and the comments right below was thank God. I mean, that was the Iowa State take on that, because there is something to that. It is not a fluke that 2 years in a row. Last year it was the linebackers. This year it was the defensive backs, that the entire rooms get just decimated. That is not a coincidence. I don't believe that. There's something going on there.
Yeah, there's something, because you've been decimated on the defensive side 2 years in a row. So we'll see if that trend carries on at Penn State or if it's just bad luck.
Yeah. What did you think of Iowa State turning down a bowl game? Now, I do think there is some real reasons for that. Do you hold Iowa State to their word that it's a player's decision?
I think it's a player's decision, maybe, but it's not lack of players or injuries or any of that. It was strictly because Campbell left, and I wish they would just say that instead of saying we don't know if we'll have enough players, any of that, because I don't know.
And I truly believe I don't know if they have enough coaches. Like, could they get some coaches to do it? Yeah, but when most of your offensive staff has already left. Now it looks to me like the defensive staff is still in Ames. Haycock, it looked like, now I would have given Mauser the interim tag, but obviously when he wanted the job and you didn't give it to him, he's like, screw you guys, I'm out. So Haycock would have been the guy, and that's fine. He's been a head coach before. He's well respected. He deserves that if he wanted it. But
yeah, I don't know. I wish they would have went and played, especially for let the seniors go out. It's like we've talked. It's an exhibition. These games mean nothing.
Yep.
And maybe with all these teams, just saying screw it. Maybe they're gonna take a good hard look at this and make some serious changes. I mean, I don't. I would like to see expansion, and I don't see the point of some of these bowl games. But I don't know. I guess we'll get a committee together.
If you're going to have them, it's fine. I mean, but acknowledge they're an exhibition. And then the other thing is, all these kids are signing contracts. This is professional sports now. Say, if you don't play in every game that you are not injured for, I mean, obviously injuries happen, that's fine. If you choose not to play, then you get, say you play 14 games, 1/14 of your check, you're out. I mean, that's just what it is. That's what needs to happen.
On the other end, what are you going to do with, let's say Georgia that plays 16 games? Are they going to get paid extra then to start playing more games?
Right. I agree. I mean, there's no right answer, and the problem
is figure stuff out.
Yeah, there needs to be a union, and there needs to be collective bargaining, and then it is what it is. It's almost like the NFL. Those guys essentially are playing for free in the playoffs. Their salaries are at zero to do. Patrick Mahomes gets the same as number 53 guy on the roster in the playoffs. Now, they make more money if they do awesome in the long run, but technically in the playoffs, I believe it's the same thing in baseball. Ohtani got paid the same as as the pitcher from Johnston that pitched like 1/3 of an inning. I believe in the playoffs they got paid the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish they, like you said, get a union, do all this, but I wish there was a salary cap too. Like none of this extra NIL business. Just every football program can spend $25 million, and that's it.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just you're not going to be able to compete. It's just never going to.
Well, it doesn't matter what you do. There's cheaters. There's always been cheating, and it's just there's always a new way. When they first put this into play, the like Texas A&M figured out this collective thing. So then everybody did that. and now you got the revenue share, so it went in-house for that. Well, now it's all over the top NIL, which, and Iowa State is saying they don't have that. They do. Audie Crooks' deal with Fairway, which we've all seen those commercials and everything, is outside of all that. That is just a deal between her and Fairway. And if you notice, she's not using Iowa State. It's the weird color. She doesn't use Iowa State. It's just red, and it's her number, but she doesn't actually use Iowa State, and that's the issue when you go outside of the university. You can't use their logos because they're trademarked, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be here in 5 years looking back. Hopefully they've got things a little more organized, and
I don't trust them, but
we'll see.
Everything you try to solve, there's always unintended consequences and people looking to go around skirt the rules, and they'll do it. Let's transition into the college football playoff. What do you think of the 12 teams that made it? And I know you're always big on you want the 12 best. Well, the way it's set up, it is not the 12 best. And it's really, this year, it's really not close.
Yeah, I'm very upset with it. I mean, I'm not upset with the committee. I think they did it the right way. I mean, once they got
with the parameters that are set, they got the 12 teams that probably need to be in there. I don't disagree with that.
Now, I think Notre Dame's better than Miami. Again, they beat them head to head, so you have to go with it. But Notre Dame is, I think, one of the top 5 teams in the country right now.
They are a team that could win it all.
And that's
I believe that.
Ridiculous. We're putting James Madison in, who I believe played one Power 5 school, which was Louisville, and got beat by 14.
Yep.
So I don't know where we came up with this. If they're ranked higher, why don't we just? I don't know. I could see, all right, the ACC doesn't get in, and they picked Miami, but
and I think
in that other team,
Miami is in this playoff. One, because they did beat Notre Dame. That is a factor, but this committee, the NCAA football, whatever you want to call it, could not go without having an ACC team in there. Obviously, they could not put Duke in there, but and Notre Dame's a pseudo ACC team. Don't kid yourself. They're independent, but they're pseudo ACC, and that's a whole different argument that they're all mad at each other about. But they had to put Miami in to have an ACC representative, in my opinion. They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and I think the first year change coming next year is these conference. If they're going to keep them, they're going to. All right, if we have a 5-way tie or whatever it is, we're going to take the top 2 teams rated in the college football. I mean, it's a no-brainer, so we can get somebody in. I mean, we've got Duke getting in, who has no business, and then
they went 0-3 in non-conference. They lost to Illinois, they lost to UConn, and then they lost to Tulane. Now, none of those are bad teams. I mean, it's not like they have and Tulane's in the playoffs. So, I mean, obviously that was a very good win for Tulane. But, yeah, I mean, you go 0-3 non-conference, and then obviously you have 2 losses like everybody else. And the Big 12 was like that last year. There was some talk of that last year. Now, it worked itself out, but that this was going to happen last year. And it kind of happened with Boise State getting the home game and Arizona State having to go on the road. I mean, essentially, it's the same kind of deal.
Yeah, there's going to be tweaks every year. Like you said, I like the best teams, and I think we're leaving out 2 teams that could win it all. I think Texas could win the whole thing too, but they're not even going to come close to getting in. Last year, I think it was Georgia we left out, who I think could have went in there, and
Georgia was in it last year. They beat Arizona State. Alabama didn't make it last year.
Was it 2 years ago Georgia got left out? I don't remember.
Yes. Yep. The last year of 4, they got left out. Yes.
But I don't know. You're just going to have to keep it. I don't know. I think they'll expand. I don't know what they'll go to if it's 16. And I'd really like to take them to go to like 24 or 30.
They need to go to 24, and essentially it's the top 25. I mean, leave out number 25. Just go with the top 24.
I feel like that's where Iowa hangs out about 90% of their life is between like 20 and 30. So if they could sneak in there, that opened the door. But
yeah, and if you go 24, and that's what I'm all for 24, and then just go to the top 24, because then I don't like the guaranteed spots.
I don't either.
Essentially at 24, you are guaranteed 4 or 5 ACC or SEC teams, 4, 5, 6 Big Ten teams, 2 or 3 ACC teams, 2 or 3 Big 12 teams. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but out of 10 years, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get 6 Big 10, 6 SEC, 3 ACC, 3 Big 12. And then
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame's in there. And then one year it might be 2 more ACC teams, or another year it might be 2 more SEC teams. And that's okay. Year to year is different. This year the Big Ten's a little bit down, but very easily in 2 years, Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana are in. Very easily, Penn State, Michigan, and USC could make a case. And then all of a sudden there's 6, and that's okay.
Yeah, I love 24. You give the top 8 a bye, and then you could use your conference tournaments or conference bowls for the buys. I guess if you win, you're guaranteed a bye in the first round. But I don't know. It's just so hard to have conference championships when you don't play everybody. So you don't even. It's just I don't know. You could do away with those in my opinion and just start the first round of the tournaments the next week
This weekend needs to be the first round of the tournament.
And just keep playing.
Yeah, and you could really go first round of the tournament as last week and not have the championship games, and you just keep going, and I think this could help with the calendar as you just keep playing.
Yeah,
championship games are done roughly January 1st or at worst like January 7th or 8th, that next weekend. Then you have coach movement, for another week. And then you have player movement. And then you have high school signing days February 6th, like it was for years and years and years. Because where all the coaches are, where all the transfer portal is happening, and now you go sign your high school kids.
Yeah, I think people know what to do. We just got to figure out, we got to get some leadership and get the ball rolling on this.
Everybody's scared of getting sued. Well, the NCAA has been sued every single time and loses every single time. But that's what's happened. So, all right. Obviously I don't know if I'll have you on. I mean, obviously you're more than welcome to be on here every week for all I care, but who do you think gets to the semis and who do you think will win it all?
I think Georgia's going to win it all. I think Texas Tech might get to the semis.
Yep. I agree with that. I think they could beat Oregon.
And then I got to look at the bracket just because Texas Tech was up top. Who's right below them?
Well, it would be number 1. It'd be Indiana.
And who are they going to play?
Oh, I don't have
the winner, because I think Indiana could get beat too.
One would be, it'd be the 8-9. That's the Oklahoma-Alabama game.
That's tough. I mean, could Alabama go on the road and win at Oklahoma? And I guess Indiana would be neutral site. I'd take Alabama out of those 3, and then Ohio State.
Yeah.
Right, Texas Tech, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and I think that Georgia-Ohio State game is going to be the winner. That'll win it. I think that loss for Ohio State to Indiana is going to make them play Georgia 1 round too early. So that's what I would pick.
Yeah. Who wins that Alabama-Texas Tech game for you?
I mean, Alabama could get beat by Oklahoma right out of the chutes. That's why it's such a risky play here. It's like March Madness when you actually take one. I mean, I would take Alabama over Tech if they could actually get there. I mean, Tech's probably...
They just might not be there.
That's the problem. Tech might be the safer play, but if I can get Texas Tech, Alabama to play, I would take Alabama. But I'll go Alabama, Georgia. I'm big on the SEC. I'll go all SEC finals.
Does Ole Miss win their first game?
Yeah, they should win big, shouldn't they?
Well, I believe so, but just with all the turmoil and everything, and
I think they already thumped them once. Aren't they playing Tulane? Or do they have James Madison?
Yeah, no, they have Tulane.
I think they played them once and already drilled them. So
yes,
they should win. I mean, I get a coach is important, but you still got to have the Jimmies and the Joes, and they got all of them.
Yep, I agree. So. All right, and then kind of last here, tonight, Michigan fires their coach with cause, inappropriate relationship with the staffer. And then, even worse, he's detained. Now, they keep saying not arrest, he's detained by police. What the heck is going on?
That's what I've been Googling trying to fit. I get the inappropriate relationship, but I'm assuming the lady is well over 18. So I'm like, what? I don't know if she, said she was assaulted or something, and that's what kind of got this started.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and speculate and make up rumors. It'll all come out eventually, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see why he's detained, but to be honest, I just think if you're a Michigan fan, you're really not too hurt about
Nope.
this news.
You found the reason.
Yeah,
now you don't have to pay him.
He was just the Band-Aid to try to keep some of the Michigan players when Harbaugh left, in my opinion. And he's been fine, but
this is, if you're a Michigan fan, you're not sad about this. Now you should be sad and upset the situation that happened, because whatever happened, well, if it's proven it's just an inappropriate relationship, you don't have to be sad or mad. That's on him. But if something actually happened, then you should be sad or mad, because that's not good.
Yeah.
Who if you're Michigan, is Matt Campbell pissed at himself for leaving too early?
Yeah, I mean, looking at Matt Campbell's contract, that thing's pretty sweet. I will give him that. But Michigan and Penn State are very similar jobs. I think he would have definitely been in the mix for this one and probably would have taken it as well. But I mean, yeah, I don't know what job's better there. Both of those jobs are, top 10 jobs in the country for sure. I don't know who they'll get. I see Portney's all about bringing in John Gruden. So
right. Well, that's because Gruden's his employee. You might not want to pay him anymore. Hey, go be a coach again. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there'll be some names that would leave to go to Michigan.
Well, and honestly, with the Matt Campbell thing, I wasn't so worried about Penn State. Now, the longer it took, and I didn't think it would take this long. The longer it went, obviously I was worried about Penn State, but it wasn't necessarily the Penn State job. It was, who takes the Penn State job? What job does that open up? I kind of thought the Nebraska, Matt Rule would go, and I thought Nebraska was in play for Matt Campbell. I mean, I really did. I'm just trying to think. The one name that I just don't see how you do it, but is Brian Kelly. He was at Michigan for a long time, with Central Michigan and Grand Valley State. And I don't know.
Actually, a pretty good coach,
right?
He's won everywhere. Yeah, that's not a bad name. He's kind of got a lot of baggage with him right now. I don't know.
But he's going back to where he's from-ish. He's from the East Coast. He's he was successful in Central Michigan, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. Those are all not very far from Michigan or in Michigan.
I mean, would Marcus Freeman leave Notre Dame for Michigan? I would think he would be up there, but I think Notre Dame's on an equal playing field with Michigan as far as.
Oh yeah.
Unless he's like, we need to get in a conference. I don't know.
Marcus Freeman's next step, I believe, is the NFL. But
I'll be very interested who Michigan hires. I mean, there's just not a lot of names out there that are available.
If you are Michigan, do you call Lane Kiffin? Do you call him? I'm not saying he's going there, but don't you have to make the call?
I just don't see him leaving. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
If he even answered the phone, I'd be upset. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's what Portney said. You call him and say, we'll double your salary right now, whatever they're paying you at LSU. But I don't know.
DeBoer, they kept saying DeBoer was in play for Penn State. Does he just want out of Alabama? I mean,
I don't know.
Alabama's like probably the best job in America.
Yeah, it's right there. But all these best jobs just come with a load of pressure. I mean, if you lose twice, you're on a hot seat. That's the way it is. You lose 2 games, you're done.
Well, James Franklin got fired after losing 3 games.
Yeah, after being in the semis last year, a play away from the championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different argument. I think Penn State jump the gun super fast. I think Virginia Tech is ecstatic. How about, did you see that story? Virginia Tech? You see what happened there? So the guy that was the head coach before he got the head coaching job at Virginia Tech was James Franklin's defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Okay. So he got fired as the head coach. Franklin hired him as a D coordinator.
I did not know that he hired. So he coming back as the D coordinator, huh?
Yep. Didn't have to move, getting a good buyout. Probably was getting $6 million a year, now probably getting $2 million. So he's getting that buyout money still, and perfect. Doesn't have to move or anything.
I mean,
he just got demoted.
If I'm Michigan, I'd look at James Franklin. I always thought he was a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And it's a much better job at Virginia Tech, but again, it's tough to take a job and leave before you even coach. But we've seen it before, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. It won't be the only. I'm sure another job will open up.
Now here's the one guy that just took a job that I think. Do you go after Hartline, or would Hartline take that job? He's an Ohio State guy.
Well, I think you have to take it, wouldn't you? I mean, you're taking a job that is.
I mean, he just took the South Florida job, but you can't. No one would blame him for leaving 1 week into that job for Michigan.
That's a name, yeah. I mean, you can't blame him at all. I mean, he's going to double, triple his salary, number one, and be able to recruit 5 stars instead of 2 and 3 stars.
Right, and then you have a blue. It's like Kirby Smart,
Yep. No, that's a name. I don't mind that name, and he's young, and I'm sure he can recruit, and he's kind of got a pipeline into Ohio as well, where they get a lot of their players.
Yeah, I'd say Michigan recruits Ohio. I mean, Charles Woodson's from Ohio. I mean, some of the best Michigan people of all time are from Ohio.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think they'd move fairly fast on it.
Yeah, and if you're Michigan, now who was I? Oh, Brandon Walker. Do you follow him at all? He's a Barstool guy. He's just ripping Michigan. He goes, swept under the rug until after signing day, then you pull the trigger. And that's just him. He complains about everything, and he's a big tinfoil hat guy. But
I saw if Michigan was 11-1 or 12-0, this whole thing would be swept anyways.
And I agree with that comment.
And they just wanted to get rid of him, and
they found the reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who they get.
So Kirk Ferentz is coming back. Is next year his last year? I mean, obviously every year could be his last year. I mean, it would not shock me one bit. But do you think next year is his last year?
I don't. I think he's healthy. I think he's kind of embracing this NIL era, and I think he's doing fairly well. I thought we had a really solid year. Missed out on. I think we lost by a total of 15 points in all our games.
Right.
I think he's excited. He
doesn't have any hobbies. He's admitted that. He doesn't know what else to do.
No.
He doesn't play golf. He doesn't fish.
No,
all his kids are in football, so I mean, it's not like they're all just going to hang out with it. You know what I mean? It's not like they're all just going to hang out at Disney World because he can afford it. Well, they're all doing their coaching, and one of them just got done playing, right? Or is he still is James still hanging on at New England?
For sure. He is or not.
But I mean, they're, so it's not like they're all hanging out.
I could see him coaching 3 to 5 more years, as long as he's winning. And if something goes south and we go 3-9 or something, I mean, the fan base would go in an uproar. There's already fans that want him out when he goes 9-3 and 8-4 all the time. And, I love the guy. I stand by him no matter what. I mean,
he's earned he can make whatever decision he wants. If he wants to coach. If he doesn't want to coach, then it's okay.
I mean, as long as he's winning 7 to 10 games, I think he's going to stick around for at least 3 to 5 more years, is my opinion on that. And I think he's got one run in him left where I think he probably wants to get into that playoff one.
Does he want to get into the playoff? If he gets into the playoffs, could that be his last year?
I could see. I think he really, and I thought this year's team had the had the talent to do it. They just, a couple games slipped away on him, and he had a taste of it, and I think he wants to get in there and see what he can do.
And those guys are super competitive, and he wants to show, the Big Ten got bigger, and they think, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC. Well, he wants to show that Iowa's right there. And for the most part, Iowa is about 5th, 6th, 7th. I wondered, when it really did expand, if they would be, but they are. They are 5th, 6th best team in the Big Ten. And then when you are the 5th or 6th best team, and then you make a couple plays here and there, all of a sudden you're 3rd and 4th, and you're right there in that discussion.
Yeah, there was a few. The Indiana game, that one probably should have been won.
Yep.
Gronowski got hurt, that killed him. Oregon, right there.
Yep.
Iowa State was probably the most convincing loss, and that was right there as well.
Yeah.
It like, we've listened to some of it, but it was actually a fun year to be a Hawkeye fan,
Yep.
as opposed to going 10-2 and doing nothing on offense and
And
beating up on the West.
And hating watching your football team play at 10-2.
And we really never beat anybody. We'd beat, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue. We never played, and then we'd get truck stomped by Michigan, and then have to play Michigan again in the Big Ten championship or something. And that's what.
Yep.
Now I think we can play with it. We've proven we can play with them. We do graduate a lot, but I think we'll.
Is your quarterback on the roster that starts game 1? And then maybe or do you want the starting quarterback to be? I'm trying to figure out.
I'd like to have a quarterback.
Do you want to get a new quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to have a quarterback that's not going to be a one and doneer. So that gives an advantage to these Iowa guys, but I'm not sold on either one of them. If we could bring in a proven sophomore that, has done it at a school that
Rocco back 1 year, but you get him.
Yeah, we would take that, but I don't see him coming to Iowa. It's probably the last school he'd come to in the United States, I would think.
Yeah, I agree with you. It would be, I wouldn't say it's last, but it's definitely bottom 10%.
Yeah, I don't know who our quarterback it'll be. That's kind of why this NIL is kind of exciting as well, because you can. Well,
yeah.
Indiana's proven it. You can change your rosters fast and get good, or lose an elite player and replace them. And there's good and bad to it.
Not that Iowa's in play here, but depending on who Michigan hires, Bryce Underwood's going to enter the portal, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And so let's say he signs at Ole Miss. Let's just say he signs at Ole Miss. Or more realistically, he signs at LSU with Lane Kiffin, and now all of a sudden the backup at LSU is like, well, this ain't going to work. Now he leaves. Now you're getting into play where Iowa might be in play.
And those are probably 4 and 5 stars that are backups at LSU.
I would agree. Or the LSU guy goes to Auburn, and now it's, and you got a Hank Brown's an Auburn guy. So, you see how the trickle-down effect and then you never know in the relationships and the high school, connections, and was Iowa in on the third string guy at Auburn, and now all of a sudden he's in the portal, and he kind of wanted to be a Hawkeye at the end. It just didn't work out, or he thought he maybe could go down there and, hey, Seth Wallace, I want to come. Okay, come on.
Yeah, it's. There's not. We got our bowl games, but it does keep the college football season kind of active year round, kind of like the NFL now with free agency and everything. So there are perks to it. So I'm excited for the Iowa bowl game. Obviously, I think Pavi is playing for Vanderbilt, so that should be a heck of a game. I don't see anybody sitting out for the Hawks. So that should be one of the better bowl games that aren't a playoff game, in my opinion.
Yeah, because of that, and some of that is because of just who the teams are, and they don't have first, second round picks. And I know we listen to the same people. What was it, Gunther Dunnings or whatever? What's his name for sure? He's the one guy they question a little bit. That's a first round mock draft that has also been hurt a little bit. he's kind of the one guy that
Yeah, and I
may
wouldn't blame
not
him
play
if
it.
he sat.
No, and or even go there and play a half or a quarter or just start whatever. That would be like the one guy that they've kind of said I will more because he's been injured off and on.
Yeah, and I don't blame him one bit
No.
for that. So we'll see. It should be a good game there on the 31st. I think it's at 11 in the morning.
Yeah, it's right away. It's always I remember that in the Gator Bowl is always you wake up. I mean, not now, but January 1st, and I always had a bowl of cereal in front of TV and watched Sports Center or Game Day, whatever, probably Game Day, and then right at 11 o'clock you're tuning in. I remember I wasn't very old. I was old enough to stay home, but my parents went to Omaha on January 1st and went shopping all day, and I'm like, I'm not going. I'm staying home. And my neighbor walked in and looked like one time to make sure I was still alive, and I stayed home and watched TV all day. I'm like, oh, you can't leave the house. I'm like, well, I don't want to. I just gonna watch football all day.
Yep, that's for sure.
So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're right at an hour. Anything else? I do want to touch this because Trevor Phillip Rivers, 4-year-old signs with Indianapolis. I know they don't know if he's going to start yet. I don't think they go sign him and then just let him sit on the bench. Do you?
No, I think he'll be a starter maybe this Sunday. I mean,
Right.
if he does, he'll be I heard today he'll be the second grandpa to ever start in the NFL.
He is a grandpa already?
Yep. Brett Favre was one as well. So him and Brett Favre would go in the history books together.
Nice. You couldn't get two different people.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason he may not start is because they play Seattle and that defense is vicious. I don't know if you want to throw a 44-year-old that hasn't played in however many years right out there to the Wolves like that. But I don't know. Yeah, I think he'll play.
Yeah,
I think we'll see him on the field this year.
Yep. So, all right. There you go, Trev. We got him in.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Thanks. Hey, good luck. Who do you guys play on Friday?
We go to Kyoto, so it should be a good game.
Okay. Yep. All right. See you later.
Thanks.